Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rev Casey.
My name is Reverend Casey Taylor. I use they, them pronouns. Welcome to our final two Spirit Uncuffs in this space. Next week is our last week in this space, and this day of the solstice is also the day that we are saying goodbye to Tasha. She led our final sound bath, final-ish sound bath today. I'm sure we'll see her again, but definitely her last sound bath in this space in Project 3810. So shedding our skin in 2025 is happening in very metaphorical, significant ways for us. So the theme today, Slither and Slime to Sublime, is what we got going on. And it's funny, I didn't actually know that. Throughout the week, I had the week 4 theme in my head, but in reality, this Slither and Slime to Sublime is what I was already experiencing. So I'm grateful that even though I didn't have this theme in mind, it had me in mind, and I've been rolling with it this week. So it's grateful to figure that out this morning and make that shift. So we'll get into that later. But my remote was working so good before. Share this. Yes. All right. So we are doing holiday karaoke this month. That's what we got going on. And so the way holiday karaoke works is if any of these songs are your jam, like you're like, Santa Claus is coming to town. I want to get in this mic and I want to rock Santa Claus is coming to town. This mic is all yours. Got your name on it. Right after Santa Claus is coming to town, we're going to run through the session flow so you'll get a hint as to what the other songs will be. Speaking of Santa Claus, I'm getting another gift. What's so funny, drop in my rose quartz. What's so funny about this gift in particular that Mitchell Dean just put in my hand, I don't think he knows this, is the last time he was here, this was the exact gift that I got, was this rose quartz and this little stand. Not this exact one, but a rose quartz globe and a little stand. And when we had Elf Fest on December 13th, I hadn't planned for there to be a raffle, but there were other people who had things to raffle off. So I was like, well, what in my office can I give? And so my rose quartz little stand I gave away. Mary Lee won that prize, and she took my little rose quartz, and she's like, yay, I got this rose quartz. And so I thought I had given it away, and lo and behold, Mitch is like, no, you need to have this little rose quartz and this little stand in your life. So grateful that he's picked up on that. All right, so Santa Claus is coming to town. Y'all ready to jam? You ready to rock it?
Yes. Ready?
All right.
They're ready.
Ready as y'all will ever be. Let's get it.
I got one. Yes, Mitchell. Thank you.
Let's get
No, you're
into
fine. You're good.
this. Put on our full screen here. Legal information, recording this song without. All right, here we go. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. So you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Right? We're like 4 days away. That's what's about to happen. Santa! This is Elf's favorite time of year. Elf, Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color? Favorite time of year. All right, so we just sang Santa Claus is coming to town, and I am pushing pause somewhere.
Are we gonna start singing now?
Oh yeah, this wasn't even on here. Hallelujah. Maybe we'll do this next week. Because yeah, that would be fun. I didn't even think about that, but I think next week would be really good for that. Anything playing? All right, awesome. Nope. All right. All this moving back and forth with the windows, this remote doesn't like that. All right, so here is what I promised. So the rundown of what to expect over the course of the next hour-ish. We opened up with our sound bath. We just sang Santa Claus is coming to town. Next, we are going to speak our vision and mission together, if that resonates, if it feels right. Tasha is going to lead her last prayer and meditation portion, and I love how everything lined up, where she's doing the sound bath, this is her final Sunday, and it's the solstice. Like, how beautiful is it that this worked out in this way? Then special music will be Oh Holy Night, because it's Christmas. Then I'm going to speak about Slither and Slime to Sublime. As I pray out, Mitchell has offered to play the flute during the prayer. And then we're going to sing Feliz Navidad for our conscious giving, some announcements, and then close out with This Christmas. That's what we're going to do. All right, so here is our vision and mission. I invite you to affirm this with me if it resonates. We are a loving, inclusive community, joyfully expressing spirit. We honor, celebrate, and support each individual's awakening to their spiritual magnificence. We empower each other to create happy, healthy, abundant lives. All right, so Tasha, it's your moment.
No pressure, right?
Your moment.
What you talk about? It's your moment. Like, well, on second thought, I don't know if I can handle a moment. I'll just take 12 moments. All right. Well, hey, thank you. I'm being blessed. Thank you so much, Mitchell. I have what he handed out, these bigger, here we go, my quartz crystals. I love it. I'm holding on to it for support. So as Rev Casey has mentioned, this is my last Sunday, and so I was thinking about how do I want to go out? Like, what do I want to do? And I'm going to start with a story. So this morning I was journaling, and I've had a wild couple of hours. I'll just say the last 24 hours have felt really energetically charged. And so I was journaling this morning, and as I was writing, I was just processing some things I was going through, and the pen ran out of ink. And I was like, oh. And I caught myself in that moment because I was literally, and I wrote this down, I almost wrote a narrative that wasn't in congruence with the highest vision for my life. And as I was writing that, as I was processing something, the pen ran out of ink. So there was no more juice to create that narrative. There was no juice to finish that story in the way that my mind was taking it, if this makes sense, right? So this thing that I was writing that was not in alignment with the vision for my highest self, well then what is my vision? Why am I leaving? And I promise we're going to bring this home. But I'm leaving because I started a business, Divine Wellness, and I started a ministry, Divine Wellness Ministries. And my heart and the vision that I've been given for my experience and my existence and my gift back to the world is to help people remember who they are and their spirituality. And as someone who I was raised in the Christian church, I left the church for reasons. And while out here in the wilderness, so to speak, Rev Casey found me, and this center found me, and I've remembered the vision I have for my life. So it's not that I'm leaving because whatever reasons. I'm remembering my vision. And so the time that I've spent, Rev Casey and I together in the office, I let Casey know I lost my vision because I was so bought into yours and feeding this place. And I believe so strongly in the message behind United Life and what we're doing here. But it's not my community. It wasn't my original vision. And just as my pen ran out of ink, As I was continuing to write a narrative that was not in alignment with my highest vision, not even related to United Life or Divine Wellness, I caught myself. I'm like, so it's not a goodbye because, I gotta leave. I'm not into separation, by the way. Unity, gnosis, oneness, Christ consciousness, that's what I'm about. And it's both and. How can both be true? Is always what I say in my coaching conversations. How can both be true? And that's what I teach. And I'm just going to tell you that's what sovereignty is how can we still feel at peace in our insides when things seem to not make sense outside of us? Like, how can we reconcile the two? And that brings me to why I felt so magnetized to this community, because all is mind. I believe that. And I didn't know what that meant outside of God. I didn't know what that meant outside of the Christian church. And so I'm so thankful for this opportunity that I've had to see that obviously love is everywhere. Embodied love is everywhere. And that's my message. And so I'm happy to still remain connected to the community. I just won't be here every day or every Sunday or every Tuesday, every Thursday in the office. But I'm here in heart. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm into conscious creation. Like, we do things that sometimes don't make sense on this earth because we are being led by that vision, right? And so when you think about all is mind and science of mind and what are we doing here? Why do we learn these principles? Is because we help them to be alive, to practice them, to embody them. And although it's hard to say goodbye, and I'm snot bubbling through a 15-minute sound bath, like, this is so human and divine. How can both be true? So I hope that the time that I've been here, that I've served the community well, that I've served this organization well, but also I know without a shadow of a doubt I'm supposed to go on my own. And who does that? So I'm really hoping this is prophetic and that in a year you will see me on some huge stage, or I don't know what, to make it make sense, make it worth it. It's not easy to say goodbye. It's not easy to know that I'm doing the thing that people are like, why? Why? And it's not that I'm at all this, but we are a community, and it's always challenging when somebody leaves, in whichever way they leave, whether they leave in their bodily form or they just actually leave the room. It changes the dynamic. And so all that to say, when I first got here, Casey and I connected so strongly that we joked that we were twin flames. I mean, it's a spiritual community thing, like, it's so dramatic. But I believe that when you are in right alignment, everybody you magnetize to yourself is a spiritual twin. And for that season, the way that the energies mix and meld is for the highest good. It's for remembering and knowing that everything is God. However we define it, however we feel it, however we engage it, even if we push it away, it's still God, and it still chases us and says, I love you still. And back in the church, we used to talk about the prodigal son and all that stuff. I believe all of that's in the psyche. And I'm so thankful for my opportunity here at Science of Mind to learn and remember that, really all is mind, and that all is well, all is good, all is perfect, whole, and complete. And in my goodbye, I feel perfect, whole, and complete, and I hope that that's how I'm leaving you guys as well. And so in my truest fashion, I'm actually going to pray in the traditional Christian way. So if you're going to be offended, I'm already apologetic about it, but I'm still going to do it, okay? So God, I am so thankful for the way that you made yourself alive and awake in me. I'm thankful that I've been able to express you in the unique way that Tasha's been offered the understanding that I do. I'm thankful for the sound of your voice that comes out of my mouth. I'm thankful for the way that you serve the community, this local community and the community at large, because Lord, you are in charge. We have control of our experience, but we don't have control over everything else. I'm thankful for the myriad of ways you've reminded us that we are all sovereign beings, that we, no matter how we show up, that we are still loved infinitely, forever and ever. Amen. I'm thankful for this community, and I hand them back to you. Not that they were ever in my hands, but Lord, as I remove myself from this circle of friends, I remember that I'm always a part of it, just as you are always a part of me and a part of these people. The souls, the way that we dance, it's a journey, it's an adventure, and it's my joy to take part. And so with that, I rest easy in my heart. And I love a bold amen, y'all know it. but I'm going to open my eyes and invite my friends to join me in finishing this prayer, closing it out in the way they see fit, and I join them in saying, and so it is. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tasha. I love that again with the solstice, but this is also our final Sunday before Christmas, and I really leaned into that. So we got some Jesus going on today, and starting with the song "O Holy Night." So again, I'm gonna invite y'all to join me in this. And where did you go? Hey, Larry. Where did you go?
No.
Oh, I see what happened. Interesting. All right, so in true Casey fashion, we're doing the Mariah version, and I looked around like that. My options were Josh Groban, Carrie Underwood, or Mariah, and the traditional ones it sounded weird. So that's what it is, and this is the version I know because I've been singing this one since I was 12 years old. So this is what we doing. Yeah.
Sing King.
Yeah. Please feel free to join me. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night a thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ Yeah, this is Mariah saying, oh yes it was. And she does her Mariah high note right here.
You do it.
She does. I'm not that high note. Of our dear Savior's birth. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, it was. It was a long night, long night, long night. Oh, 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 whoa, oh, 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 yes it was. Oh, that's Mariah doing her Mariah thing. I really like that version. Yeah.
That fit. Of course it does. It was a long night. It was a very long night.
Was a long night. That's what Mariah says. I thought she said it was an honor. Honestly, it wasn't until I read these words just now that I saw that she was saying it was a long night, not an honor, long night. All right, so I wanted to. Oh Holy Night is my favorite Christmas song, and there was no reason in particular. It was just like being a kid. I think I like the fall on your knee. Like I was somebody into really big vocals, and Oh Holy Night is one of those songs when somebody does it well, like Mariah, like Leah Michelle from Glee, it moves me. And so this concept that it's funny that it's Christmas and we're talking about skin shedding, but that's what we're doing. Slither and Slime to Sublime. As I said earlier, I wasn't conscious of this theme throughout the week. And in my reality, this Slither and Slime, the way that it has looked for me this week has been tense around the concept of Christianity. So it started with, going the wrong way, I'm going to go back to that. It started with this quote from the Bible. This quote is how I was called to read the Bible to begin with. My landlord, who, as I went to go sign my lease, was just showing up to sign my lease. We ended up having a very, very long conversation about spirituality because as he looked at the website for United Life, he had lots of questions. And his primary question was about this verse in particular, where in John 14:6, Jesus says, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And this concept of no one comes to the Father except through me has been loud in my face this week. And I didn't choose it. I happen to be on John as a chapter as I'm reading this through with my uncle, and this is the part where we got stuck. So not only is this the verse that led me to start reading it to begin with, but throughout my experience of reading the Bible with my uncle, I've been pretty silent about my beliefs through it because I knew it was going to be a problem. And I told him that. I said, he's like, what are your thoughts about this chapter and that chapter? And I was like, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not trying to experience what comes along with it. So when we met in person in Chicago, sat down, and this verse came up once again, I said, we haven't gotten to John yet. So when I get to John, at that point we were at Luke. I just started Luke. So I said, when we get to John, that will be the time that I let you know what my thoughts are about this. And so when I got here and got an opportunity to read the context of the Gospels, how it felt to me, what my reading of the Bible for the first time, what has jumped out to me about this is the concept of Christ consciousness. That what it means, what Jesus meant is that being the way, the truth, the life, that what he had been teaching throughout his life, through his travels, that this is the way, the truth, the life that he was teaching, and that getting to the Father comes from living consciously from this understanding of recognizing that when we, the Beatitudes, I think is that great example of blessed are the meek, blessed are the poor, just living consciously from these themes and these principles that he was teaching. That's what I think it meant. And I knew that was going to be a problem, but I prepared for it. I said, not going to say anything until we get here, and I said something. And the reaction, the response that I received was what I expected. And what that was more Bible verses about how my uncle's understanding of the way, the truth, the life is the 100% unadulterated truth. I did ask if I can quote him today, and he said no, so there are no Uncle Jeff quotes up here. But we've had this ongoing discussion over the course of this week about what 100% unadulterated truth is. So as we've been having this discussion, what I said was, okay, I see that you believe that this book, that the information provided in this book must be received, and people have to believe this. So with that understanding, can you point to anywhere else in nature, in the stars, in the cosmos, in the makeup of an atom, something in human history, some kind of scientific proof, as you are speaking that this is unadulterated, 100% truth, do you have something to point to outside of this book? And his answer was he had more things out of the book, and then an explanation as to why there was no natural occurrence. Because my way of looking at it is God created these things. If you're saying that God transcends man, I should see these things in nature. And really what it came down to was this concept of all paths leading to God. That was his sticky subject. My belief that all paths lead to God. Because here it says, no one comes to the Father but except through me. No one comes to the Father except through me. So there are not multiple paths to God. There's only one. And people kind of just kept shouting that at me throughout the week. Somebody said it to me in all caps online. This has been Slither and Slime. The representation of Jesus that's been coming at me has brought up a lot of heat and emotion for me. And I realized that I've stayed away from this book because of the way that people talk to me about it. I don't want to have a conversation with you about what comes up for me, what spiritual themes and principles are aligning for me, if you're going to yell at me about it. And so I really continue this conversation from a place of, I'm not going to use this Bible as a weapon, not using this book as a way to prove I am right. I'm not having any conversations about who is right and who is wrong. This is a sacred practice for me, and I'm going to continue to treat it that way. And that experience of feeling my emotions, feeling the heat around it, I really got an opportunity to recognize that my decision to avoid the Bible, I'm in the Bible Belt. I am in Oklahoma, standing here in Oklahoma talking to y'all about it. I've been put in the center, the buckle of the Bible Belt by divine appointment. So my landlord asking me about this verse, my uncle, this being our sticking point, all kinds of people shouting this at me in all caps. What I recognize this week, that what is mine to do is to stop running from this book, is to understand the spiritual principles of it, to speak of them, and to practice unconditional acceptance about the fact, about the reality that the community associated with the Bible Belt has not been the warmest and welcoming to our interpretations that are different than the idea that what Jesus is speaking of here is Christ consciousness. So I came across, because this has been a thing I've been coming across, Facebook's like, you want more information about this? Here you go. And so I just came across this as, it was a really long post from Jim Palmer. I'm not going to list all 11 things about Christianity that Jesus would vehemently dispute if he returned. But the fact that Jim Palmer spent years as a megachurch pastor. I thought about Reverend Carlton Pearson, who our own Tasha Salinas grew up sitting in those pews listening to Carlton Pearson speak about that concept of Jesus being the way, the truth, the life. Carlton Pearson himself evolved to see the message of Jesus to be a representation of Christ consciousness and made that transition, that shift over to New Thought. There's a movie called Come Sunday about that tradition, or that awakening, spiritual awakening that Carlton Pearson went through. And so the fact that there are so many renowned, famous Christian ministers that get to a point as they study Jesus, get to a point of recognizing Christ consciousness, I know that there is nothing I can say to my landlord and to my uncle that will get them to see this way. And as I've been talking for the last 4 to 6 weeks about the concept of control, of how I'm recognizing that what it means to be a monster is to try and force this, to try and use the Bible to prove that I'm right, to participate in that experience of using this book to prove who is right and who is wrong, who's going to heaven and who is not. That my decision to just let y'all be y'all, that this is how you want to use this book, you do you. But my decision to read it, to embrace it, to celebrate the fact that there are other world-renowned ministers who've come to this conclusion, I don't need to argue with anybody about it. But there's a whole lot of value in me being in Oklahoma and willing to say this out loud. And so I feel like I'm on the road. Reading the Bible gives me some context. Throughout ministerial school, I didn't open that book a single time. It was never, I didn't have to write a single paper about the Bible. And the book is long. I didn't. Sue Ellen apparently did. I did not. The ministerial school, minister program that I went to, we had a world religions class. That was world religions where it was, or was it in other contexts?
I had world religions.
In world religions, the way that my teacher taught it was that everyone in the class had to teach a specific world religion. And the one that I was given was Judaism. I have 2 Jewish parents, and it was really well known that I have 2 Orthodox Jewish parents. And so that's why I was chosen for that to be what I present. And somebody did present Christianity, but I was never required to open this book. So it's a book that I haven't needed to open, and starting in October of 2025, I was guided to it. And since I've been guided to it, I've been recognizing all of these. I feel better prepared to talk about it because now I've actually read something. Versus in what I did learn through ministerial school was Ernest Holmes' interpretation of the Bible. So as I'm reading it through, I already have this kind of lens of Christ consciousness is something that I'm familiar with. And as I'm reading it through, it's like, yes, this makes sense. I see how Ernest Holmes came to these conclusions. So a few examples of what what did I say his name is? Jim Palmer spoke to about what Jesus would vehemently oppose or would vehemently dispute, that a religion was formed to worship his name instead of a movement to advance his message, that the religion claiming his name was conceived by the theories and doctrines of Paul instead of the truth that Jesus lived and demonstrated, that people have come to associate Jesus with the church, theology, politics, and power, rather than the courage, justice, humanity, beauty, and love. So as I read Jim's 11 points, I was like, yeah. And, so knowing that there are people out there, they may be a significant minority, but it really felt like I am being called, I am being invited to speak to read this book and speak to these perceptions, this interpretation. And while I was in ministerial school, I never imagined myself to be a pulpit minister, first of all. And second of all, I imagine that if I ever did end up being somebody who gave a message every week, that the Bible would be a book I would never ever quote. Because the whole concept of the Centers for Spiritual Living is this recognition that Spirit expresses through all paths. And so my way of thinking is that Christianity is well healed. People have their own relationship to it, but based on the fact that I don't have my own relationship, I don't need to be the one quoting the Bible on Christmas. And here I am quoting the Bible on Christmas because I was called to it in this moment. So I really love what it means, what it has meant for me to live a spiritual life is to recognize what Spirit calls me to do, whether I like it or not. The Bible is not my book. That uncle is not my favorite uncle. No shade, but I don't know. I do know my favorite uncle. It's on him. And he does read the Bible, so maybe I should reach out to that one, now that I'm thinking about it. But I recognize that the ways that my uncle and I challenge each other is a divine appointment. So much easier for me to read this book with my favorite uncle than to read this book with an uncle who challenges me, who I challenge as well. And we got to a point kind of today, this morning, maybe even a half an hour ago, might have even been as early as that, where he said something along the lines of, he basically called me a heretic, and felt as if our journey of reading the Bible together was supporting my erroneous human-made beliefs. And so I said, you know what, I'm not giving up on you. If Spirit nudges you back in this direction for us to read the Bible together, I'm here. And he responded back as recently as half an hour-ish ago, that he feels pretty sure that Spirit probably will nudge him back. Like the ways that we are challenging each other, this is the reason for the season. It's not necessarily, I'm usually Christmas is my season. Tasha knows that I got a sock drawer full of Christmas socks only. This is my season.
You can't even let Thanksgiving happen.
No, skip Thanksgiving. November 1st, I came in hard. And that was so interesting, is that November 1st, I came in hard. But by the time November 10th came around, I was done. I was Christmased out. And for the last, shedding my skin, I don't associate with Christmas trees and lights. And so this solstice in particular, I noticed this happened last year as well, where James has a annual Christmas party, and last year I had to drag myself to that Christmas party, and it's like, I love parties, I love Christmas, what's the problem? And it was solstice last year, and again this year, same thing. Every part of me wanted to stay in the house in my jammies. I didn't want to go anywhere and do anything, and really kind of nudged myself to get to Sue Kern's memorial service. And I was like, I could text James and tell him I don't have it in me. I drafted that text. I didn't actually send it, but drafted the text, and I decided I'm just going to stay present. I'm going to stay present. And the moment came where it felt right, and I got up, put on some clothes, took a shower, because I was like, I need to feel fresh to get up and get out of the house. And this experience of being at the party last night, it had wound down. So it was basically at that point, it was just James, Nina, and Chris. And the four of us just hung out and kicked it and watched AI music videos all night. Really, I had a really, really good time. And James introduced this new tradition of speaking of what it is that we're grateful for. And I was racking my brain and coming up with stuff. And I was like, you know what? It was just the lessons learned in 2025. I feel like I've learned some very crucial lessons that have set me up for success in 2026. So, also came across this online today, this quote from Eckhart Tolle about Christmas, about the Christ consciousness, that the second coming of Christ is a transformation of human consciousness, a shift from time to presence, from thinking to pure consciousness, not the arrival of some man or woman. And I saw this quoted in the Conscious Collective, the OKC Conscious Collective group this morning. Sean the Alien posted this today. I've never met Sean the Alien. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. He posted a meme that said this today, and I thought it was in perfect alignment with what we're talking about today. So Heather posted this one. I told Heather that I pulled some of these up here. There was a whole list of affirmations as we are preparing for solstice. And as I said, today is the solstice. And so I'm finding that as I move in flow in the seasons, it makes sense to me that I'm exhausted on the solstice, and that it doesn't matter how I've spent my week, although my week was incredibly productive. I was grateful for that. So it made sense that I was out of energy by the time Saturday rolled around. But really recognizing this trend of 2 years in a row of me being inexplicably exhausted at the solstice. Today even, I was like, really, I'm glad Mitchell wanted to be here at 11 a.m. to set up, because it gave me some timeline to get up, get dressed, get here. And so as we are winding down, this concept, I love that Christmas is celebrated in December because of the solstice. How research shows Jesus was actually born in the summer, but the ways that Christianity was introduced was by mixing some pagan traditions in with it. And so it's so interesting to me that the people who are leading with this concept of Jesus is the only way and paganism is wrong are the same people who got Christmas trees and pretended like this is not, like these things are not linked. But like, y'all do y'all. I'm really practicing unconditional acceptance. That lesson has been my biggest lesson on 2025 is learning how to let people be who they are. How can I cultivate a space called Spirit Uncuffed? If I'm a cuff, your understanding of what Jesus and spirituality are. And so I'm seeing this moment, this experience as an invitation for me to really truly cultivate an uncuffed experience. And something that's come up on my mind as I'm preparing for 2026 is that for the last year, since I've been serving as senior minister of this organization, I've really sidestepped Science of Mind. Even a little bit before that, where originally our vision and mission used to say something like, by practicing Science of Mind principles. And as we sat down, came together as a leadership council to say, what should our vision and mission be? I was one of the people who advocated for the removal of by practicing Science of Mind principles, simply because when we ask people to affirm this, if you're walking in here for the first time, I don't want you to affirm that you're practicing Science of Mind principles and you don't even know what they are yet. And so this year, I've really been Science of Mind light. We quote a little Ernest Holmes, I am of the school of thought, where Ernest Holmes himself said, don't quote me forever. His whole goal was for religious science to be out there, but for it to not be attached to him. He was not trying to be deified the way that Jesus is. So he's like, please don't treat this book like a Bible. Please evolve beyond what I have put here. And so I really heard that as a call to action for me to move beyond. Ernest Holmes asked me for it, I'm going to do it. There are plenty of Science of Mind ministers out here that are addressing and referencing Ernest Holmes on a regular basis. I don't need to be one of them. When I made that decision, I was in California where there were lots and lots of Science of Mind ministers. In Oklahoma, we got like 2. It's me and Reverend Dr. Sue Ellen. And so Reverend Lynn, we have 3. But who'd you say who else?
And Reverend Lynn.
Yeah. 3 is who we're coming up with on top. Oh, you got a 4th?
Reverend Jeff. And Jeff.
Reverend Jeff Stanton in Tulsa. Yeah, so there's actually a few in Tulsa. So specifically Oklahoma City, we got 3. And in Los Angeles, it was a whole lot more than 3. And the center that I founded, Spirit Uncensored, was made up of people who'd either grown up in Science of Mind, so they knew it backwards and forwards better than most of the teachers because they were raised into it from birth. I was attracting the teens and the young adults who knew this, but also ministers and practitioners that knew it really well. So I didn't really need to talk about Science of Mind a lot. But as we're growing, as we're establishing community, our 2026 theme is open at the top. That is Ernest Holmes' whole concept. That was his intention of us not quoting him forever. And what open at the top means for me is kind of to do the opposite. As I've been sidestepping Science of Mind, I'm ready to submerge into it, especially because now I got some New Testament context as to where Ernest Holmes was even referencing these things. So my intention in 2026 when we move to our new space is to lean into Science of Mind more than ever before, which is a new thing for me. And I see the value of it as Larry's been one of those people who are like, what is this teaching? When are you going to start talking about it? Rev Lynn did that pretty regularly. Every single Sunday, she was teaching the Science of Mind. And personally, I never really resonated a lot with centers that did that. I like centers where the ministers talked about how they applied spiritual principles to their lives. I liked that, so that's what I did. And I recognize that the best way to serve and to support this community is to lean further into Science of Mind. So what Open at the Top looks like for me in 2026 is speaking to teaching Science of Mind more intentionally on Sunday. So get ready for that. And if you have opinions about that, we're actually going to get into opinions later. But before we do that, last 2 things I'd love to do is, I'd love for us to affirm some of these winter solstice mantras together. And after that, we're going to close out in prayer. And I love that Mitch is standing up because this is about the time where we're going to pray out together, and Mitch is going to play the flute underneath that, and he's going to play some eagle notes for us right after that. So after we affirm these winter solstice mantras together, we'll move into prayer. You know, if you want to play under these mantras and just keep going, you want to come up here and get ready, and we'll just roll right into it. Does that feel good for y'all?
Yeah.
All right. So I invite you to take a moment to get comfortable, to settle, maybe let your eyes gaze softly upon these mantras as we speak them together. I honor the darkness as a space for my transformation. I release what no longer serves me and welcome the night of renewal. I trust the cycles of life to guide me towards growth and balance. I call on the ancient rhythms of the earth to guide my rebirth. So as we call on these ancient rhythms of the earth, as Mitch plays this flute behind this experience of prayer, I invite us to settle into this space. Bringing our conscious attention and awareness to the sacred breath in our bodies. That breath that Mitch is using to play this flute. This breath that we all have in common. Whether we believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, or whether we believe that there are all paths lead to God. Whoever we are, however we understand spirit, whether we call it God or Creator. I'm grateful that we have been inspired to show up in person and online for this sacred solstice, to affirm the transformation that we're occurring and engaging in together, to empower each other to live happy, healthy, abundant lives, to celebrate this season of darkness as we shift to the light. I am grateful to honor all four of the seasons. I am grateful for each one of us having heard the call to come together and celebrate spirit in our own way. And I'm grateful for the shift that takes place in our lives as a result of that decision, of that conscious connection. And in gratitude, I invite us to close this prayer however we are most comfortable. I choose to close by singing. And so it is. Thank you, Mitchell. All right. So now we're going to move into the conscious giving portion. I got some presents for you in my pocket that I'm going to pass out in a minute. Actually, Mary Lee, when you come around, will you come here for a second?
Sure.
Mitchell gave me a pocket full of hearts, pocket full of quartz hearts. And so as you give, whether you are giving financial energy or whether you are giving love energy, I invite you to take a gift from Mitchell, a quartz heart from Mitchell. And if you are the kind of person that does not carry cash, like me, there's a couple other ways to donate. There's this QR code here that will take you to the donation page on our website. And if you give via text, text the number, whatever, like say you want to donate $10, text the number 10 to 405-450-8484. You'll set up one time. They'll ask you some questions like name, address, all that jazz. And once you set up text to give, you're set up. You can just easily text the number and it's done. As we give consciously our financial and spiritual and love energy, I invite you to speak the conscious giving affirmation with me. I live in abundance. I am filled with abundance. I give from abundance, and it fulfills my soul. All right. So I said what was next was a conscious giving song. And I know y'all all know this one. And again, like I said, if this is your jam and you want to hop up on the mic, don't let me stop you. It's all yours.
Susan, get on up there.
Susan, you wanna lead this? All right. Can we?
Susan,
Cody, you wanna lead this
high
song?
soprano.
I
You
can
want her
sing
up
a
there.
little bit of it. I'll sing you on the mic.
All right, let's do it.
The words will be on the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna read, but I'll do my best. Oh gosh, I'll get on camera. May these crystals help me.
Yes.
Thank you for the crystals, by the way. They're beautiful.
They represent the Christ light, just to let you know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año de felicidad.
Here we go.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Little Elvis. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Prospero año de felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, prospero año de felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad, prospero año de felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad.
Okay.
Feliz Navidad.
One more time. It's a song.
Feliz Navidad. Prospero Navidad. Get on my stage.
Yes. I haven't told Cody this yet, but he is doing the music for our very first January 4th service. Cody was like, you could be backup, I could be backup if you need me to, and turns out I need him to, and I just found out just yesterday. So you just got a little sneak peek of what to expect from Cody's performance on January 4th. I love that all of this was impromptu. Love, love, love. So we'll get to see what Cody does when he plans. All right, so here's what to expect, what we got coming up. As we're preparing to move into our new space, I don't have this up here, but I will tell y'all that if you're interested in helping us pack, Tuesday, 1 to 5, we'll be packing the office up. So feel free to join us if you're around and would like to help. And December 31st, I will not be in town, so I will not be able to attend this. But Rev Lynn has hosted this in her home for like 5 years. So I love that she's keeping the tradition going. This is the QR code to register. Registration is not required. If you know Lynn's address, you are welcome to just show up there. But if you don't know Lynn's address, this is how you find out. And there's also, if you receive our weekly e-blast, there's a link in there for how to register. All right. As I said, we're moving to the Healers Co-op January 4th. Super excited. Well, January 1st, but our first Sunday there will be on January 4th. And our annual meeting, this QR code here is if you are not currently a member of United Life and would like to have a voice. This annual meeting is the perfect opportunity to express your voice. One of the things that we will be talking about, the biggest thing that we'll be talking about, is our bylaws. And again, if you are on our mailing list, there is a link to read the bylaws, read the new bylaws. If you're somebody who cares about what our bylaws are, we do, if you remember though, we need you to vote. So it'll be up to you whether you actually want to read through the 19-page document. You are more than welcome to. But if you just want to accept our summary of what to expect on the 12th, you are welcome to do that as well. And if you have questions, if you're reading through, if you've got questions about anything, you have concerns about anything, please feel free to bring them up to me in advance so that we can address them and aren't blindsided on January 11th. But if you blindside us, we'll blindside us. We'll deal with it. Y'all do y'all. But this is the code to become a member, and I believe we're including that in the e-blast, weekly e-blast as well. All right. So we're going to close out with Donny Hathaway's This Christmas. Is that anybody's jam? Sean, is this your jam? You want to get up here and sing now?
I wish it
Oh,
was
it's
my
not your
jam.
jam? You wish it was your jam.
I don't know it like that, no.
Don't know it like that. All right. Sean's got a great singing voice. That's what I was thinking.
She knows it.
Yeah. I think he's just playing us, but whatever. Whatever. He'll sing along. Sing along as we sing it together, close out.
Okay.
Okay, you coming?
Yeah! Yay! Go, Sean!
Bring him out, brother.
Go, bro!
I'll do what I can.
It's all good.
Oh, we thought you knew it.
This Christmas,
Yeah.
as a friend of tree, how much fun it's gonna be together.
Girl.
This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright. We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
Why you hold back, Sean?
That's right, let it out, Sean!
Get it louder from me in the back.
Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes outshine the town, they do. This Christmas, fireside is blazing bright.
Yeah.
We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Shake a hand now. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Dance break.
Dance break.
Rocky.
The fireside is blazing bright. We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Merry Christmas, because I don't know the melody. Shake a hand now. Wish your brother Merry Christmas. All over the land. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I don't know the melody here.
Yes, we're gonna have to get Sean to do some music in 2026, Sean. Please get some dates on the calendar for you to lead our music in 26, because we need a little more Sean singing in our lives.
A lot more singing.
Right? Right?
Came and talking, oh no, they blew us away.
Right? No. This is not my jam. And then, yes, it's okay. Well, I don't know where the last light is, but I can tell y'all what it says is to have the best week ever. If you are not on that mailing list that I told you about, you can sign up for it in that corner. If you'd like some requests for prayer, you can put a little prayer request in the box. And feel free to get some info about Science of Mind. We got those bookmarks that says that we believe that God is personal, and that get a sense of what it is that we believe. Thank you for being here. Have the best week ever.